we are Patrick.
Good morning, Pirate Nation News. Today is Monday, October 16, 2016. Welcome to Homecoming Week 2016. Events this week include assembly on Wednesday afternoon, a pep rally on Friday afternoon, the parade at 5:30 p.m., and the big dance on Saturday at 7:45 p.m.
It is quite an exciting week. Let's take a moment to feature our homecoming court.
The 13th annual Ritley Run took place on October 1st. There were quite a few runners taking place in this event, including lots of our Perry staff members. Let's recap the race.
It's nice to honor Coach Ritley with the run, and it's really like a homecoming. You get to see a lot of people you haven't seen for a year, and a lot of people that Coach Ritley had a big influence on, and part of his family, and the whole Perry community comes together for this event, which makes it very enjoyable every year. Yeah, I was fortunate enough to be a player under him when he graduated, the year he graduated from Michigan. He came to Olmsted Falls, where I was attending high school, and he was my football coach. He was assistant football coach then, and he was my head baseball coach for 2 years before he went to University of Tampa. And then he went to Gibsonburg, and then he came here after that. And when I graduated from Kent, he called me, asked me if I was done. I said, yeah, and come on over, and got hired here.
Well, my goal was to finish, and I finished. So, a lot of respect for runners and people that do this more often than I do. But it was pretty cool overall and for a good cause, so excited to be out here.
I'm 6 and under, on your mark. Get set, go!
Great job, everyone. Way to get out and support the awesome event to honor Coach Ritley and help the scholarship fund grow.
Our students have been busy working in their STEM classes. Mrs. Davidson's class had a visitor last week who talked about the design learning process with her students before they completed a design project.
STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and math. And the reason that we have STEM classes in the middle school is to give our students from grades 5 through 8 an opportunity to practice some of the things that they're learning in their core courses. So we are building things which uses measurement, and we're using the scientific process. And one of the really important things to me as an engineer and now as an educator is that students learn how to solve problems using a really specific process. So that process is called the engineering design process, and it has several steps: understand the problem, brainstorm, select the best solution, and so on. So we get to build, design, test, and it's a nice way for students to practice solving problems. I have a really cool saying, it's fail early, fail often, and fail cheaply. So we do a lot of that in all of our classes. Right now in the 8th grade, we are preparing to go to Washington, D.C., and one of the things we're doing is that students are thinking about events or people who are monumental to them, and they are building a monumental structure to represent what that event was or that person. One of the things that really inspires what we're doing in our STEM courses, because this is only our 4th year of having STEM classes in the middle school, is to give students the opportunity to make things, to collaborate and learn how to communicate, not just verbally and certainly not just PowerPoints, but to communicate with technical drawing like the 7th graders are doing in their bridge project, and to collaborate with other students. So whether they're working with a partner or they're working with a large group, those skills are necessary, and they'll use them throughout high school. They're going to use them in college and certainly in their careers as they become very, very successful at whatever they choose to do. Our Making Meaningful Monument Lab is really getting students to think about themselves and something or some place that's monumental to them. But when they go to DC and they start seeing the vast structures and the meaning behind those monuments, I think it'll have a deeper meaning for them. That's the goal, is for them to really understand the importance and the greatness of a lot of the monuments and the places that they're going to be in Washington, D.C. next. There is quite a bit of design in STEM. Right now, the 7th graders are building their bridges, and we've been studying bridges from the opening of the Winovich Bridge a couple weeks ago to the small bridges that are here right on our facility and on our campus. So they do drawing, and there is architecture involved in it. 8th graders are going to start building their trebuchets, and they'll be launching them in November. So there's drawing, and there's skill, and there's trial and error, and that's what we do in all of the classes at STEM here in the middle school. I think it's a lot of fun. Most of the students find that it's pretty fun. One of the things they recognize is there's a heck of a lot of planning and thought that goes on at the front end before they actually do the project. And I think that's something that is a little bit new to them, that they just don't dive in and build something, that you have to think about it and understand what the requirements and the constraints are, and then move forward and have your solution. I think the planning is the hardest part of STEM for students, is sitting down and trying to visualize what it's going to look like at the end, and then make your solution look like and meet the requirements for the project or the event or whatever we're trying to do. One of the examples is, you may have noticed that our Perry Village Market is building a new facility, and our 7th graders are going to be going over and watching the roof trusses be put in place. So they'll get to see how things are actually built, and, well, this is just a shout out for the Perry Village Market. One of the fun projects that the 5th graders are participating in this year is called Ship the Chip. And we were challenged by another school, the Willoughby Eastlake system in their School of Innovation, one of their 5th grade classes, challenged us to ship 1 Pringles chip in a container. We're gonna ship it to them, and then they're gonna grade us on how well our little Pringles chips maintain their structure. And you know they're really fragile. So the 5th graders are really stoked about building a package and becoming packaging engineers, solving the problem of how do we package a chip so that it will be safe and arrive at the School of Innovation in Willoughby without breaking or cracking or crumbling. So we're just getting started on that today, and I think it's going to be really fun. If you get a chance, we have a lot of videos on our YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube and type in Mrs. Davidson, and you will see a little thumbnail there, and there's all kinds of things that we're doing in our STEM class, in addition to our STEM club here in the middle school, that you can just check it out and see if you like any of them. Check out that crazy guy on our channel too, it's kind of fun.
Mr. Zuzi's STEM class has had quite the design learning project last week. The students designed and rode on their own hoverboards. Welcome to the future, Marty.
What the guys are doing, or students are doing, is they are designing, building, and now today they were testing the hovercrafts. What they did was they were given a set of constraints. They had a sheet of plywood, they had a certain size sheet of plastic, they had to use 2 leaf blowers, and they had to make a hovercraft then. The whole point of the project is to get the students to work together. We're applying the design process. We're not just learning about it and writing about it and all that kind of junk. We are actually doing it. So by doing something, you learn a lot more. First time I've done this particular project. I've done design projects like this before in the past. I think your class did ping pong ball launchers maybe, or tennis ball launchers. So this is just something new, something else to try this year. We got some pretty cool designs here. Some people who thought outside the box and came up with some neat ideas. Sometimes they worked, sometimes they didn't. The plastic, what that does is that creates a skirt underneath it. So essentially the way a hovercraft works is you blow up a great big balloon almost under it, and then it releases some air inside of it, almost like a little donut inside of it. And as the air escapes out from underneath, it creates a little film.
How cool was that? Great job, STEM students. Perry High School has also held a manufacturing expo last week for students to see what opportunities there are for careers in the industry. Students from around the county came to Perry and met with representatives from manufacturing businesses from Lake County. Our next video recaps that event.
is so nice to see the schools connecting with the community. There are certainly quite a few opportunities in the manufacturing industry these days, and it's really changed from the old days on a factory floor.
Our Perry Elementary third graders have been working on presentations to give to the kindergartners about how to be a good Perry Peep. Here's a quick look at that activity.
Third graders have spent the whole first to the beginning of the school year teaching our kindergartners how to be Perry Peeps. So they took the 4 expectations of responsible, respectful, ready to learn, and safe, and they designed a mascot to show that lesson. And then they had to learn to work as a team in order to present it to an authentic audience, which is our kindergartners.
Okay, that's my poster. When you're in the halls, you always need to be silent. And my name's McCoy.
Awesome job, guys. And now, it's time for P&N, Things You Should Know.
Attention FCCLA members, our next meeting will be Monday, October 17th in the Food Lab during ICE. Please drop by to see Mrs. Bezick if you are unable to attend.
Attention all Fashion Club members and anyone interested in joining our next meeting. It will be on Friday, October 28th in the room 200. Follow us on Twitter at PHS Fashion Club.
The high school band, 8th grade band, and Bucks are again selling fresh fruit and cheesecake now through November 10th. We hope you will consider supporting our music program through a purchase.
We have also online ordering available through www.freshfruitorder.org/Perry High School Band.
Please contact me if you have any questions. Thank you for your support.
Pride t-shirts and hoodies are now on sale. The shirts and hoodies have a multicolored heart on the front. You can choose between black and lavender. If you would like to place an order, stop in the office or the media center to get an order form.
Bingo is back in the media center. There is a change of day from Wednesday the 19th to Thursday the 20th during ICE to a homecoming assembly. Please see Res for details.
And Library Council is selling t-shirts and hoodies. They're saying on the front of the shirt, "I solemnly swear I am up to no good," and on the back, "Mischief managed." Order forms are available in the office and the media center, or see a Library Council member. Don't miss out on your chance to get a shirt with the Marauders map.
The volleyball team beat Madison in the Volley for the Cure match last week. The Little Pink Jug stays in Perry this year. The team will play their first sectional match against Harvey at Jefferson High School Wednesday the 19th at 6:30 p.m. If they advance, they will play on Saturday the 22nd at Jefferson at 4:30 against Lakeview. The football team will compete against West G this week in the PHS homecoming game. The parade will start at 5:30 and the game will start at 7 o'clock. Go Pirates. Now back to the news desk.
Well, that is all for this edition of Pirate Nation News. Enjoy the homecoming week and
Go Pirates!